And we're live. Speed.
GeoGearHeads.
Welcome to the GeoGearHeads. This is a show about geocaching and geolocation games. Tonight, we're going to talk about live streaming apps and various techniques. I'm the bad cop, along with your host, Daryl W4.
And I'm actually not in studio today. I'm in Chicago for Geocaching Day with my good friend Scott Burks, who's also on the show.
Hey guys, how you doing? Happy Geocaching Day Eve, as we call it here in the Burks household.
See, and we were out for dinner tonight trying to figure out why it is that so many places are closing for Geocaching Day Eve.
I don't know.
We just don't understand.
I don't understand. You know, it's.
But we're still here working.
All it is
they
Thursday,
should be too.
It's just Thursday night. You know,
exactly.
You know,
and unfortunately, Mark of OBEEP was going to join us, but we don't think he woke up.
We think he celebrated Christmas.
He's snoring away.
He celebrated it well.
We wanted that Geocaching Day preview from across the pond.
Right. Yeah. How's it looking? How's it going to be? We don't get it. We get denied that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Hopefully he'll jump in.
I take it personally because the last two times I've tried to be on a show with him, he no-shows the show.
Maybe it is personal.
I think Mark, I am officially taking this personally now. I just want you to know that. When you listen to the show later in the week, I am taking this personally. Yeah.
Well, who knows? He might not even listen to the show.
I don't.
It might be that personal. He won't even listen to a show that you're on.
Burks is on it. Delete. There we go. Gone.
All right. Well, let's get to the question that we asked, and we've got one more weekly question that we're doing, and then no more weekly questions
Ever.
Really? Well, we might bring them back later, but we're going to switch it up next year, and no more weekly questions.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that.
Are you just tired of giving prizes away? Is that
well? We're going to try something different and try to get more people to participate, because when we do the participation, it's pretty cool. And we're going to do. We'll talk about it now, I guess. What we're going to do is actually probably about once a month or so. We're going to pick like a topic or something that we want people to submit, and we'll let you know, a few weeks in advance so that you have more than 1 week. And well, frankly, right now you don't even have a week. Because it has to end.
Today's Thursday. Yeah, it's going to end Sunday. So you have like 2 days.
Well, no.
They have till Wednesday.
Right, they have till Wednesday.
Right.
So it's not even a full week right now to get your answers in, especially if you download the recorded show. So what we're going to do is change it up, and we're going to have like a 2-3 week lead time to get your responses in, and we're going to do something a little bit more interesting, probably some cooler prizes and stuff like that too.
Okay.
So we last week about the very popular streaming app that geocachers have been flocking to, which also shares something with the bad Kelsey Grammer movie.
Right.
And of course, we know that that's Periscope.
That is indeed Periscope, yes.
Which is something that Scott and I were playing with earlier today.
Yes, we were. Yes,
and you got scolded for replacing one of your caches.
I did. What happened was we went to dinner. Daryl drove out here tonight, today. And we went out for dinner quickly because he said things were closing. And then right next to dinner was a cache that I placed. And it actually was gone. I periscoped Daryl because it's right in a parking lot. And it's a very dense parking lot with a ton of people. Obviously, it's Christmas time. But it's always packed with people. Very, very high muggle area. And so I wanted to stream it because I knew it's something like it. You can't be stealthy about it. You gotta jump right in and just go for it. And it was actually gone. The irony of it was gone. So I had to replace it. So I had to search my caching bag for a replacement, and had Daryl go and replace it. So thank you for replacing that, Daryl. Appreciate that.
Well, and we have a new, different, interesting container in there.
Yeah, now
something you shouldn't see under the lamp skirts.
I bet you won't get muggled though. Let's put it that way.
Probably not.
No.
But yeah, you got scolded from one or two of the viewers.
Yeah, on the internet. The internet scolded me
for dropping a cache, dropping a replacement.
Yeah, but it's my cache. I'm allowed to drop a replacement on my cache. It's mine. So the winner, is that what you want?
Yeah, let's go for the winner of that.
The winner of the, what do they win?
They're getting a membership to project-gc.com.
Oh, really? Oh, Jesse Brown would have loved that.
Yeah.
Really? Right? There you go. There's the...
well,
Oh, she hears that.
Well, you have to join us for the live shows. That's when we give away the full year memberships.
Oh, ooh.
It's a live show for her right now.
For the randomized shows.
Wait,
I
this
should
is
say.
a live show for Jesse
Well,
right now.
it is,
Chris
but it's a
says.
randomized shows that we give away the
Oh.
live prize.
Oh, because it's not a. Sorry, honey, I'm not on a randomized show.
No,
I'm on a specialty show. Sorry.
You're on an organized show, not a randomized show.
So the winner of the what is it? 30 days?
no, it's 100 days.
100 days.
think.
Hurdle. Hirtle.
Yep.
Hurdle.
Yep.
Hurdle.
And I have not yet done so, but I promise I will eventually remember to email it.
Yeah, he wanted to, but he just never got around to it today. I know.
Yeah, I pull up the laptop before the show, and I have to email that code. And of course, I go to open up the web or the email client, and it locked up on me.
Mm-hmm.
This is why people use webmail.
And then he saw a squirrel, and it was all done.
Yeah, and then
That's
the
it.
squirrel.
Mhm.
The squirrel, which is currently on Scott's head.
Right, you like this guy? Check it out, dude. Look at it. Look.
So the goggles that he was making fun of me for wearing,
Yes.
my girlfriend got him a pair.
She got me a pair for Hanukkah. Are these beautiful or what?
Your
Gorgeous.
Hanukkah goggles?
These are my Hanukkah goggles. Yes.
Hanukkah goggles?
Hana goggles. Hana goggles. Hana goggle, oh Hana goggle. Come
my.
cover my light eyes.
This is going to be one of those nights where I'm not sure how much information we're going to get out.
Yes,
but
right,
we're going to
sure.
have lots of fun.
That's why you put me on the randomized shows, Daryl. That's why you put me on specialty shows.
Well, before we get too far, describe geocaching day and perhaps spell it for the people who have misheard it.
Sure, it's geocaching day. Jewo caching.
There
Instead
you
of
go.
geocaching, geocaching. What it is, I implore all the Jews of the geocaching world on Christmas Day when there's nothing to do and nothing's open and it's either a movie and Chinese food or sitting home with your kids. Go out geocaching. It's a great time, especially to go urban geocaching. Because nobody's around. You start before the sun rises and you end when the sun goes down, kind of like Shabbat. And to speak Jew to people. And what it is, it's just for about 6 hours from about 6 to noon. There's nobody on the roads, because nobody starts going to their families till about noonish. And so for those 6 hours, you are like the only people in the world, and it's freaking awesome. And what you do, the key is numbers. That's the key to geocaching day. It's not about hitting the woods. It's about going for those numbers and hitting those caches that you can't hit because they're so muggle heavy. Those are the ones you want to go for. You want to go for the power trails in your car. That's the key to geocaching day. And it's just a great day. Me and Ivan Zoot, which is I See It, we started at about 7 years. I think 7 years is the 7th annual. Yeah, it is. And we've been doing it. He does it every other year because he goes away every other year with his wife. So he comes every other year. But I've gone. I'm 7 for 7, and Jews come whenever if they're in town, they join. So, and it's a great time. It's a lot of fun.
So this is my first time that I'm actually coming out to do
Daryl,
it here.
and so I called out Daryl this year and said, "Hey, you're Jewish. Come on out for geocaching day." And he actually said, "Yeah, maybe I will."
Yeah, well, I wanted to. I don't think it was last year, but the year before maybe, and something came up. Probably got sick, but
And so
and Renee wanted to join me, but
Yes.
she couldn't because she has to work. So I had to make the drive out here all by my lonesome.
yes, but he's
and I have
here.
to go caching with these guys all by my
I've
lonesome.
got Daryl in my studio. How about that? Kind of crazy. Yeah. So
That one ups me. Daryl's never been to my studio.
No, you've been to my studio.
yes,
That's true.
And I've been to your studio.
You have,
Yes.
and so has Jesse.
and so has Jesse. Yes. So it's nice to have Daryl in-house, so to speak. Yes.
There you go. Your in-house technician, shall we say.
Yes. Right.
Well, we
we've been
already
sitting here
have-
for hours trying to do stuff here. Yeah.
How does this work?
Uh-huh.
We already have feedback in our live Q&A. This one's from Torque B, who finds your talk of geocaching interesting.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. If you're Jewish, man, go for it.
There
Well, I
you
would
go.
encourage anyone who's not Jewish to even
Oh,
try it.
absolutely. Absolutely. The problem is that most people who aren't Jewish are with their families and whatnot. And
Oh, yeah.
unless you're going a later afternoon, then, the earlier, the better. Like I say, we start before, we get the first cache before the sun even rises, mainly because there's nobody around. I mean, Daryl, you have no idea. It's just dead.
Well, I've
nothing.
done the
know,
Christmas
to
Day
go for.
caching a few times before with some of my friends, none of which who were Jewish. But
Really?
it's just, you get your family stuff done like the weekend before and after.
Yeah.
So
nothing to
you're
do.
free on Christmas because no one can get out for Christmas for,
Mhm.
to do the traveling.
Mhm.
So we went geocaching on Christmas, and it's amazing
Mhm.
You know, one of the big things that people don't think about is the availability of bathrooms.
I know, right?
We had probably for like 2 hours the girls crying that they needed a bathroom. We couldn't find an open bathroom anywhere.
Yeah,
And
it's,
you know, and we're in the city, so it's not like you can just go duck behind a tree.
yeah. I was 1 year in 90, not 90. I'm lying. In 2009. That's what I was thinking. 90. 2009. Me and Ivan went out, and he had to leave about 1 o'clock, and so I kept going. And I wound up getting 100 that day, and I got about 60 myself. We got about 40, and I kept going, and it was about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, and I was starving because nothing's open, and I was starving, and I found a Subway that was open. I couldn't believe it, and so I pulled in. I got a foot-long meatball sub and literally inhaled it.
And it was the best Subway you ever had.
Stood there and ate it, like
Yeah.
like not even like sat down, and it was so good. Oh my god, when you're hungry. Even a meatball sub at Subway is good.
Well, and one
Yeah.
of the things is that a lot of places around here, at least, close like 2, maybe 4 o'clock on Christmas Day if they're open.
Mhm.
So as you get later in the day, it gets harder and harder
Yeah.
to find these places that you can.
Yeah, what
Get food
I've
or-
learned is basically you either bring food, which I don't think we're doing, are we, Jess? We really didn't go shopping for it, unless we go shopping later, unless we go to Walmart afterwards.
Well, Walmart's closed.
Walmart's closed.
Yeah, they closed at 5 or 6.
What
tonight.
about Myers? Something's got to be open.
Nope, they close at.
Oh come on, you goddamn non-Jews!
Meyer closes at 5.
Jesus, everything got to be
Whoa,
closed.
you're blaming everybody else for your lack of preparation.
God damn it! We got to go somewhere. We got to get Cliff Bars or something. I mean, come on.
We have something.
Go hit Subway
don't have-
tonight.
That's-
There will be
how about
gas
a
stations
how about a gas
tomorrow.
station? I
There will
guess.
be a gas station.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
7-Elevens.
Right. Well,
you
so
know.
that was the key is you prepare, which we haven't done, or usually gas stations are open, but you're getting gas station food. You're getting candy bars and stuff
3-week-old
like
tuna
that.
salad. Tuna
I
salad
wouldn't eat
sandwiches.
that, but
Yeah.
you're getting We had those taquitos once, and oh
Ooh,
man,
yeah.
I was sick the whole day. You didn't do that again. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. And bathrooms usually you can find bathrooms usually at a gas station if an emergency
go.
arises. But
Well, we have Ellen Bloomfield in the Q&A who agrees with you, Scott. Bathrooms are an issue.
oh yes, hey Ellen, what's up? I know Ellen. She's
Click
from
your-
around Chicago time.
Well, and hopefully we'll see
Chicago.
her tomorrow.
Yeah, she's supposed to be going to the. We always end the day with a flash mob to try and get around 3:30, 4 o'clock to try and get the non-Jews away from their families to see who comes out and who will leave their family for a flash mob. Who the true geocachers are. is
There
what
you
we
go.
have to call them.
Torque B, who freely admits I'm a heathen. So I'd have Yule caching. That's 12 days of caches.
There you go, right?
Nice.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. It always is. And tomorrow's gonna be mid-40s and a 20% chance of rain, which is gonna be unbelievable for geocaching day. It's the
It's
perfect
been
weather.
warm up there,
Perfect.
hasn't
Oh, it's been phenomenal. It was 60 degrees the other day. It was incredible. Incredible. In December, a couple days before Christmas, and it's 60 degrees in Chicago, which is that's unheard of.
Well, I think we actually had a tornado up by us.
Did you really?
Yeah, they were talking. We haven't heard for sure, but they suspect that there was a tornado in Canton, which is where the IKEA is.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
today was 50.
Did it put all the furniture together?
No, I don't think it hit the IKEA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like trailer parks and stuff out there,
Can you
so I'm
imagine-
assuming it's out that way.
Their tornadoes are just drawn to trailer
All right,
parks.
Exactly.
Can you imagine an IKEA getting tornadoed? I mean, that would just parts would be everywhere.
And look, there's a Billy bookcase fully assembled. How did that happen?
But one thing we do plan to do tomorrow is some periscoping.
Oh yes, we will
So,
be periscoping. Yes.
one of the reasons to talk about it tonight is we're going to be doing a lot of it tomorrow,
Yes.
and people can actually, check the show notes. We've got actually, they can't check the show notes for tomorrow because it doesn't go until.
I was going to say that. That's really going to be
Saturday
redundant
morning.
by then. won't it?
But yeah, we'll have our links in the show notes.
We can't even
so you
tell
can
them
follow
because
us.
it's like I could say follow me at Scott Bergs, but again, it's going to be redundant if they're not following us by now.
No. Well,
They're,
the people who are watching us
I guess
live right now.
live, yeah.
So yeah,
At Scott Bergs, at Gerald W4, and
right.
Ivan is he's at Clipper Guy.
Clipper
is
Guy?
what Ivan is, yeah.
And
Well,
then Chris,
I'll
you're
throw in-
caching NW, correct?
And at Shortiness.
Cashing
But
in
Jesse,
W.
have you ever done one Periscope?
One.
One. So you could follow at Shortiness, but she's probably not going to Periscope.
And
She-
Ellen
she's
is
a-
also going to be periscoping.
Oh, she will. Oh, yeah. I follow Ellen.
LNSPN.
Yeah, I follow Ellen. Yeah. So Jesse's usually the star of my periscopes because I'm the one holding the camera. So
But we wanted to talk about Periscope and live streaming in general, because it's not just Periscope. Before Periscope was Meerkat, but long ago, I don't know how many people remember, but I actually was on Ustream, and there was also Click. Ustream was a totally different kind of concept, but Click is very much like what they're trying to do with Meerkat and Periscope, just different technologies, different approaches, and it just didn't click until recently, because it was only 2 years ago that we had LTE available on most of the phones. That gives you the bandwidth. You didn't have good quality cameras, and you didn't have the processor to do the compression very well.
right.
So this is, I think, why Periscope has been such a hit this time around,
Yeah.
is it's finally putting everything together at just the right time.
It really is. It really hit the sweet spot of timing. It really did, and it's incredible. I can't wait to see what happens, 2 or 3 years down the line as the phones get better and the data gets better. You're going to get better video, better sound, better everything. It's going to be incredible. I mean, you look at what Periscope has done already in 6 months. How long has it been out for?
I don't think it's even been 6 months.
And how many people are using it and what it's become. It's a staple in my geocaching now. You know,
Yeah. Well, and Periscope is a product of
it's Twitter. Isn't
Twitter.
it?
Yeah. And it ties to Twitter, and it does it pretty well.
Yeah. Very
But
well.
one of the weird things about both Periscope and Meerkat is they're not recordings, really. Periscope saves it for about 24 hours. So you can go back and view it for about 24, unless you delete it, and you can delete it.
Yes.
And that's something that we really haven't seen before. And if it weren't for Snapchat, I don't think we'd see that even now.
If it wasn't for Snapchat.
Right. Snapchat really popularized this short-term.
Yeah. Well, 10 seconds
thing.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't use Snapchat, so I have no idea.
Well,
can't.
Snapchat didn't originally come out with video. It just came out with
Does
pictures.
it have video now?
Yeah, it does have
Oh,
video.
does it?
now.
I don't.
Yeah.
Again, I've never
And
used
it
Snapchat.
now does more than the 10 seconds to view the
Oh,
images
really?
and stuff.
Okay.
So it's changed quite a bit. Now, that said, I haven't used Snapchat.
I know my 10-year-old's on it. I know
Yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
about all know.
I downloaded and played with it to talk with certain people, but that was about it. But I think that's part of the popularity of this, is that it is a very...
Santa's coming.
Sorry, it's my 8:30 alarm. Sorry, guys.
but it is a very short-term medium. So whatever's there is only there for a little bit. It has no staying power. So if you don't want it to be there, it's going to be gone in a couple of hours anyway.
Right, and the question is, I'm sure on everybody's mind, is it gone forever? You look at the days of iCloud and all the pornographic images that all the stars that they thought were gone and aren't gone. Is it truly gone forever? Is, I guess,
Right. Well, and
Snapchat images are not gone
Right,
forever.
yeah.
They're also
Well, yeah,
stored
that
on the
database
phone.
got hacked too, right? And
Right.
all those images came out. Yeah, is it gone? Is the $1 million question. Now it's gone from us seeing it, but is it gone? Is it ever really gone?
well,
Treat like it's gone.
yeah, and well, here's the problem too, that a lot of people discovered with Snapchat early on. Even if it's only this is with the images, which is nice and simple because you can just screenshot it. But people have been always taking screen captures. So even if there's protections against saving it online, someone can still save a local copy. So that is a concern for some people. If you truly don't want it to exist, don't put it out.
Don't put it out. Right. Don't do it.
And that's
Exactly.
the only thing that actually works.
Right. Yeah.
Not just don't put it out there. Don't even take it.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
seriously, you look at the iCloud breach, and those were pictures, that they didn't post publicly.
No, those are pictures, and those are pictures from years ago too.
Yeah.
They were like years old. I mean, look at some of the pictures. Not that I've seen them or anything, but some of the
Or
pictures
studied them, apparently.
they look very, very young. In those pictures. It's not like underage, but like taken years ago.
Well, and the problem with the iCloud breach is these are photos that people might not have realized got backed up when they
Right.
turned that off.
Sure, of course. Well,
They're old
my-
photos they might not even have realized were
my
still there.
iCloud backs up. I don't even know it backs up. My phone backs up to the iCloud.
Well, and I know so many people who have accidentally turned on backups.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden they're getting messages that they're out of space on iCloud. It's,
Right.
I
even know.
don't know how. I don't have anything up there. Oh, well, this
So
is
they can buy
how.
a bigger phone.
Right. Well, and the one that was notorious for that was the Google Photos app. it was uploading all of your photos by default.
Yeah, Jesse uses that. She swears by that.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. But if you don't want those photos going up, now you have a problem.
Yeah, because
You just
they
send it up
they
there.
automatically go up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, this is a big concern. If you don't want it out there, just don't take the photo or the video.
But that's no fun.
No. But like Periscope and
Use an old
Meerkat.
still camera. With film.
Yeah, let the photomat guys enjoy it.
Oh, there used to be such big businesses about that I remember from my days of working with the photographers. But Periscope and Meerkat are broadcast tools. They're
Right.
intended to go out to everyone. So it's not a one-on-one thing. It is everyone, though you can make it so that not everyone sees it.
Yeah.
It is built as a broadcast tool and anyone can get to that stream.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about, is it really gone? And that is a problem for some people. There's Periscopes I've done where I'd like to have those available. So what I end up doing is saving it to the camera roll because it doesn't save it anywhere else, and edit it sometimes and post it to YouTube so it's out there. That's like what I did for the video of geocaching the first few times on the Apple Watch to see how that worked. But there is a service called Catch. It would katch.me.
Isn't it KETCH?
KATCH.
Okay.
.me.
I thought
Yeah.
it was KE. You could totally be right.
Yeah.
Okay.
My notes say at least KA.
Okay.
So
You could totally be right.
we'll check the link here.
You're probably. I know you. You're probably right.
But they actually do save those videos, and it's a really easy service to use. You sign in with Twitter. You set it up to either automatically save them, or if you put the #catch in there, then it will catch them.
That's adorable.
Hashtag,
Like,
yeah. Sorry.
#catch.
It is KA. I just checked it. So it is KA.
I told you were probably right.
But yeah, you either set it up to do it automatically, or you put that hashtag in there, and it's going to record it for you. And you can either set it for private or for public use. So you do have a way that people can actually view those, and you can download it from there. But it's not good quality. And this is a complaint that a lot of people have had, is even the stuff that's recorded to your phone is much, much lower resolution. They're actually downsampling the camera.
Yeah, but I think it's still a pretty good resolution for what you're taking.
Yeah, it's better than a standard VHS.
Yeah. It's like
It's widescreen.
It's like Catch. One thing about I'll never complain about Catch. It's free.
Oh yeah,
and it does a great job.
Yeah,
and so I can't complain about somebody who does free and a good job.
Well, and Catch does the comments and stuff, which you don't.
Which
get
is really
on
kind of
camera
cool.
roll.
It's really what Catch does, guys. Is it puts your comments. You know how like if you ever or anybody who doesn't ever use Periscope before, what happens is that you're videoing, but people who are watching can actually text a message to you and hit send, and it shows up on the screen so you can read it and respond. And when you download it to your phone, you do not see those messages at all. So what happens is basically you're seeing a one-sided conversation if you're actually talking to the people who are watching, and it looks kind of funny because you're sitting there answering questions and you don't even see the questions that are being asked. Now with Catch, what they do is they download the video, but on a separate tab, they show you everything that people have said. So it's kind of interesting the way they do that. I don't know how they pull that off. But
Well, they're just grabbing the stream, and it's the comments are coming in as an
But you're not
overlay.
seeing the comments at all. You're seeing none of the comments in the video. The video doesn't show the comments.
Right. But they're downloading the two separate streams because it's done as an overlay.
That's pretty cool the way they do
Yeah,
it.
they've done a nice job with that. And
Yeah.
but that is the cool thing about Periscope, and Meerkat does that, though I haven't played with Meerkat in probably a year now, because it didn't have that stickiness that Periscope had, so I just never went back.
Yeah.
But Meerkat is a great tool as well, and if people want to check that out, do, because it's another alternative and has advantages and disadvantages, and you have to play with it to figure out what you want. But it's that interaction that makes Periscope and Meerkat so cool, because you are talking with people, and you talk with them going, hey, I can't find this cache, anyone have any suggestions? And they'll tell you where it is.
Absolutely.
So it's like caching with a buddy.
Or like Jessica will tell you, once we were at a caboose. I was periscoping us at a caboose, and it was a nano on a caboose, and it was like, you got to be freaking kidding me, and we couldn't find it, and I'm on Periscope, and finally Jesse looks at people who found it, and we actually had a find a friend Periscope. We actually, somebody who'd found the cache got on the Periscope, so he's watching my feed, and he goes, and I'm videoing Jesse, and he's going, Nope, turn to the left. More left. More left. Okay, now go under. Now down and under. So he was actually watching what Jessie was doing and directing her from the periscope, which was actually pretty cool. So it's a whole new concept of a phone a friend, where you can actually
still
see.
a PAF. That's a periscope a friend.
Well,
Right.
the $1 million question is, does he get to sign in? Because he was technically there, wasn't he?
Well, he didn't physically sign the log, but if you sign the log for him,
Right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he get that find?
yeah, he helped find it.
That's the question. If people follow you along on that and the whole ride from the car to the cache, shouldn't they be able to sign in?
That's an awful long time. Well, one of the things I did find though is somewhere around the 20-minute mark, Periscope stops recording to the camera roll. There's
Really?
some threshold there where it stops recording to your camera roll.
You've recorded for 20 minutes?
Yes, I did a
Lord,
early
man.
on. I did a silly. We had some dollar store kind of science projects that we were playing with my nephew-in-law. I guess we'll call him
Nephew-in-law?
yeah,
Okay.
we were putting these 4 projects together, and it was like a 30 or 40-minute video, I think.
30 to 4-minute video. Really?
Yeah,
On Periscope?
On Periscope, and I didn't know about Catch yet at the time. So
you
that's
were-
all
so you were-
gone.
So you were downloading it.
No, we couldn't download it. We couldn't do it.
I think
It
my
didn't
longest
save
I've
it.
ever done is like 12 minutes. I think that's the longest. I don't.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you really don't want to do anything that long.
Yeah, I've seen some. You got to cap it at like I'd say 5-6 minutes max. Like to me, that's. I mean, people just don't have the in this day and age to have the patience to watch that.
That's true. It depends on your content, though. I mean, if there's still action going on that's interesting, yes, people will pay attention.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I mean, Jesse,
things like speeches or concerts or something, that's going to be a lot different than if it's just us going out.
right, but it's like when me and Jesse did the caboose. I mean, remember Jess? We were doing it for about 10 minutes, and I told people, all right, I'm going to log off, and people are like, no, we're too invested in this. Like, you can't log off now. I want to see you find this thing, and so it's something like that. But like, it's to me that wrote on way too long. To me, it's 5-6 minutes. If you notice, most of mine are 5-6 minutes, and that's about it.
Well, Mark had actually posted to his blog at OBeep some tips about periscoping and geocaching, and he has some basic points, which is 2 or more is better. So
2 or more what?
People.
Oh.
It's not as interesting if it's just one person, and that's true of just about anything you do.
Not if Jesse Brown's on. He's wonderful to watch.
Well, but you're
What are
there.
you talking about?
You're behind the camera, so there's 2 people.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Two
So,
people.
it's just-
There's 2
so
participants.
you're saying just me is boring as hell, but if I got Jesse on, then it's
Hey,
And it's-
you
and it's
watch my
really-
videos. Aren't those boring as hell?
And it's really hard to periscope and use your phone as
oh, it's not happening.
a
Yeah.
GPSR at the same time. So
No.
you really need 2 people if
Yeah.
you use it as caching.
Yeah.
Or
It's
I've done once in a while. I periscope up FTF. I will actually have my GPSR on me to actually get to the cache, knowing that if I'm going to periscope it, I better bring my GPSR.
Right. But it's like podcasts too. A monologue is not as interesting as having someone to bounce back off of. So,
Sure.
you want to have 2 people just for that back and forth. And, it does make it more interesting.
Sure.
And he also says pick an interesting cache. But I
Yeah.
don't think that that's necessarily true because like just going for an FTF can be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But in general, yeah, you don't want to do, lamp skirts.
Someone see park. That's all they're going to see tomorrow is parking grabs. Or
Yeah.
Jesse going into that. What are you going into, Jess?
Under the road?
Yeah, under the road.
Ooh, a
Jesse-
culvert.
Jesse will be going into a culvert tomorrow. That'll be fun.
In the sewer.
We'll be periscoping that. Don't worry.
So gutter caching. And mind your language, because don't forget that there is no language warning or content warning on Periscope, and they actually on almost all of these services do have terms of service that will get you kicked off the service. If
Really?
if you are using adult language or topics and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, that doesn't seem to stop some of the content, and you do have to be careful with this stuff, because you will find those people abusing the service. And we were talking about it earlier today. Last week, maybe the week before, I started getting the occasional push notification from Periscope of adult content that should not have been coming through.
Well, maybe if you stop surfing the porn sites, Daryl, you wouldn't get that stuff.
No, trust
Don't
me.
hate the player,
that's
man.
not
Hate the
it.
game, dude. Don't hate the player.
No, when we were talking about it a little bit, and I never got a chance to look up the article because we were doing other
Don't
stuff.
look at porn on my freaking.
Where else am I going to do it? I have to do it on yours. They're going to track me if it's on mine. No, but there was
Don't log
an
in on my
issue.
IP, dude. Don't log porn on my IP.
There was an issue, I think, with Meerkat early in the spring that someone had figured out how to push notifications for adult content, and had been sending out the push notifications to people who had Meerkat installed. This is kids.
Genius.
So you do have to be a little
No, what
worried
you need
about
to do
this kind of
is
stuff.
Meerkat needs to hire that guy. Is what they need to do. He's
they
a
may have.
genius.
They may have, but they
They
probably don't pay
should.
enough.
I mean, guys, go freaking work for Google if you can figure that out. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this is a problem. Is the guys that that can do all this cool stuff usually get paid more doing that bad stuff.
Yeah, I know.
than
Yeah.
doing the
Remember
good
the
stuff.
one really big guy that was a really early hacker. He wound up the government hired him. Like he finally
There's a few of those.
yeah, like it was really large guy, big guy.
Okay,
But,
time for a little rat hole. I used to do a lot of
Oh, no.
work for the Mac Hack conference back
You're
when it was
kidding.
in
Yeah, sure.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Well, it's gone entirely
Oh
now.
yes.
But they actually used to send some guys out from NSA and stuff like that to recruit some of the
Shut up,
programmers.
really?
Not so much at the conference,
Uh-huh.
but I'm talking with guys. This is way back. What was it about?
Late 90s?
Yeah,
Early 2s?
no, I think it was like early 90s.
Oh, are you going early 90s?
Yeah,
Really?
early
Oh, You're going
90s.
old school.
And I don't know if you remember the guy who did Stuff It.
Sure.
He actually,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, he was one of the guys they recruited
You're
to
kidding.
work for the government. But when he did Stuff It, he was 12.
Shut up.
He was 12 years
When he
old.
created
they
Stuff
had,
It?
yeah, so they had to wait for him to get to be 18, and then he got into the cryptography.
For anybody who doesn't know, this is the cat who like zip, a zip file for your PC people.
Compression, yeah.
Zip compression, that's Stuff It for Mac.
Yeah.
He was 12, guys.
But it was a lot more sophisticated routine, and it was really incredible from a encryption technique.
Wow.
Or perspective. So that's why they wanted him so badly. And as I recall, he actually worked on writing decryption software.
That's borderline against scary.
Yeah.
Is what that is.
Well, and
Wow.
there's they were telling me that oh yeah, it was like just last year. We were talking with him in this hot tub, because it's at a
What?
hotel and everyone hangs out afterward.
Sure.
With
And
a
he's like,
12-year-old
I've
boy,
got
sure.
a handler who's right over there. And sure enough, they turned around and there's a guy, standing around, and he's got the earpiece in. So it's like, okay, maybe he
Yeah.
isn't blowing smoke.
Wow.
In any case, we'll get back to another post from Memphis Mafia talked about tips for periscoping and geocaching.
Mhm.
And they also added beware of the trolls. And I've seen so many times on my own videos, people come in, what's geocaching? Well, this looks stupid. It's like, just ignore them. And, as we were saying, they were telling your viewers can be helpful too.
Sure.
But I will comment, if you are hosting one of these live streams with Periscope, it is really, really tough. Unless, if you're using that front-facing camera, it is really tough to see some of those comments to begin
Yeah,
with.
because they don't last very long.
No.
They're up for what,
And
3
they're
seconds?
small.
3
They're
seconds,
small.
and it's really tiny. If you're getting old like me and Daryl, it's getting harder to see those things.
Yeah, well, and you have to hold the camera
Yeah.
and the phone so far
So-
away.
And it's very difficult because you're looking for a cache. I'm trying to record Jesse, and I'm trying to read comments and answer comments.
And
at the
this
same
is when
time.
something like an iPad would probably be really handy.
Or for Scott, the iPad Pro.
Right,
Right.
That'd be
exactly.
big enough you could read it.
Oh, do I want that thing so bad?
But don't worry so much about the camera resolution either with Periscope and Meerkat,
Mhm.
because it's downsampling, as I kind of mentioned before. The files on my iPhone that it's recording are only 320 by 568.
Mhm.
That's not even a quarter the resolution of that front-facing camera in most of the phones these days.
Hmm.
So you really don't have to worry about the resolution. Now, the image quality, that's still going to be a big deal. If you're not getting good images out of your camera, and make sure to wipe the cameras off before you take the start your video, because that's going to do a lot to help with
Yeah.
the image
I'm
quality.
notoriously bad for that.
Yeah, and like the lens flaring, the fogginess, the out of focus, all that kind of stuff can easily be wiped away most of the time by just taking a lens cloth and taking care of that. But another thing that we should probably mention too is the actual data usage. And I did find an article on Gizmodo
Really?
where they actually tested it. I haven't done any
They tested
testing.
Periscope.
They tested Periscope and Meerkat.
Mm-hmm.
And this is back in March. So it's quite an old test at this point,
Mm-hmm.
which means that Periscope is definitely more than 6 months old.
Right. Yeah. Well, like I said, I remember Mark doing it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Probably
Well, and
early
Mark-
in the year.
Mark got me into to Meerkat when that first started. And I didn't do much with that.
See, maybe he was doing Meerkat, not Periscope, but I thought it was Periscope.
He started with Meerkat and then he switched to Periscope when that came out.
Because he showed, because that's how I got Periscope, was from Mark.
But it's 250 megs per hour
250 meg. That's not that
for
bad.
Periscope and 400 megs an hour for Meerkat. However, they said in the article that other people had reported 400 per hour for both services. So that's figure about the 400 mark. if you've got like a 250 data cap,
but that's for an hour,
right?
Usually,
but if you have a 250 megabyte data cap,
oh yeah,
that's not even a half hour on the service, most likely.
No, I have unlimited, so
right. So the point is,
get unlimited.
Be careful. Now, one of the other things that's been asked a few times is if there's some kind of quality check, and there is a network quality check before you go online. I actually had it today tell me it couldn't stream because I didn't have enough bandwidth.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I've seen waiting for bandwidth or trying to find bandwidth.
Right.
I've seen that before. Which it's taken sometimes as long as 30 to 40 seconds before it would start.
Oh, I've actually had it tell me this was outside of Starbucks, and I was intentionally trying to connect to the Starbucks to see, the Starbucks Google Wi-Fi to see if it worked. It's usually free, and it has a lot of bandwidth because they're doing the Google stuff.
Right? Did it work?
No, it did not work, and I could barely get web pages to load there.
Really?
Yeah. It's Christmas Eve. Probably a whole bunch of people stopped in, checked email.
They were downloading all their geocaches.
Yeah,
right?
doing their updates on their phones, who knows what, but that place was busy. So yeah, there is a check. It won't let you do it sometimes. And of course, if you're outside of cellular range, it's not going to do it. But I would say in general, if you don't have an LTE signal, just probably don't even try it.
If you don't have an LTE?
Yeah, if you're on 3G,
oh no, it's not worth it.
It's not going to come out well enough that you're going to be happy with it, and your viewers aren't going to be happy with it.
Well, what's going to happen? What's going to wind up happening is it's going to be like you're going to keep freezing, and you're going to frustrate the viewers. I've had that happen to me. I learned not to do it in 3 or 4G. I don't even do it in 4G if I have 4G, because it's just people tell me you keep dropping or you keep freezing or something along those lines.
Right. Well, and if you see the 4G on your phone, not the 4G LTE, but the 4G on the phone, in most cases, that's just the high-speed 3G technology. The 4G just means it hits the speeds that qualify it for 4G, so it's not really for LTE. It's not really what we're used to as that next generation. So, the 4G that you see on the phone, unless it says LTE, because on Android phones, you'll see a lot of the time 4G LTE. If it just says a 4G, then it's actually the 3G technology that's just got a speed bump. So it still has some of those latency issues that have gone away with LTE.
Okay.
So, we were talking about using it for like a phone a friend kind of thing. And even before Periscope and Meerkat, people have been using things like FaceTime, Hangouts, and Skype just as a one-on-one kind of thing.
Sure.
And that's certainly an option. If you want to go caching with someone, I heard a story about someone who was laid up after surgery in the hospital. So they took their iPad, set it up with Skype to them as they went out to find some caches so they could help find caches and get a little bit of a caching fix.
Did they get logged in? I hope they logged in.
I think they did log in with permission of the cache owner. Because this was one of those, hey, he's going in for some major surgery kind of things. I don't remember who it was. I wish I could.
Well, I saw Eric Beal in the chat room said, so it was him. He was the one that was giving us the hard time about the throwdown on my own cache, not knowing that it was my cache, and that means I can log it since I was sort of there. Yeah, man, go ahead and log it. Go nuts.
If you can find it.
Yeah, if you can find it, go nuts.
Well, this does bring up some good questions, though, about like the ethics of periscoping.
Right.
The conferencing stuff, that's not such a big deal because it's a one-on-one. But when you're going with one of these broadcast mediums, that's a big deal because you could be spoiling a cache. And some people are going to get bent out of shape on that. Some people aren't. Yeah, it's only going to be up there for a little while. Yeah, and that's the argument that a lot of people have used. I think that's one of your arguments.
Yeah, that is. On my own podcast, this was brought up again. This same exact topic was brought up, and my theory was that it's 24 hours. It's not forever. And most of the people that probably watch, at least my viewers, aren't even in the state that I'm in. You know, their viewers from all over the country, and odds are they're never going to see this cache. And why not show them this really cool cache that they want to see? But on a flip side of that, when me and Jesse were in Jess, where's me in Kansas with the F-14?
Probably.
Mingo?
Yeah, all right. No, not Mingo. Me and Jesse went to this cache. I think it was in Kansas. It was the cache was inside an F-14, like the big fighter. Plane,
I was thinking GCF-14.
No, it was in an F-14.
Like, oh, that's an early one.
And I periscoped the entire thing. You know, us trying to find it because we had to open compartments and stuff of this plane.
Wow.
And it was incredible. And I was talking to Joshua, the geocaching vlogger, and I was telling him about it. He's like, I have to see this. And so he watched my periscope. He's like, next time I'm out here, I am definitely going to that cache to do this cache to show my viewers his cache. So in one hand, even he's going to go do it because it's a really, really cool cache and it should be seen. And anyone who watched it loved it because it was really cool. Me and Jesse sitting there opening compartments trying to find his stupid cache, you know. So to me, it's people who will never get there, like Mingo. You know, me and Jesse, we periscoped our trip to Mingo just because, you know, not everybody's gonna be able to get a chance to go there, you know. And so it's not like it's a big secret. It's not a big secret of what Mingo is, you know. So why not let people get a chance to see it, and who will never get there.
Well, that's one of the arguments for it is it's that inspiration, and I've done a number of the more interesting caches because I'm hoping to get more people interested in not just doing them but also hiding some of these really cool cache containers. So there's that aspect of it. But the thing that does scare me a little bit is I actually had one of the local cachers come up to me like the day that I had periscoped some of these caches, like, oh yeah, I really loved doing that cache. That was awesome. It's like, oh, you know, this is someone local who knows exactly what the cache is. You know, so it's.
I don't think you're spoiling anything. No, I really don't.
The location is recorded usually with the periscope, unless you tell it not to.
Wait, one more time.
There's a location button when you're creating your periscope that records the location, the geolocation.
Yes, correct. Yes.
So if you turn that off, you can obscure that data even more.
Can you turn that off?
Yeah, you can turn that off.
I've never done it.
And that's usually what I do when I'm at home, because you know, the location makes no difference when I'm at home
what
doing science toys.
People don't care where you live there.
No,
people are.
This is true.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we want your science project.
But we hear that Daryl lives here.
But yeah, you know, it's one way that you can obscure it a little bit more. And in most cases, I don't give the GC number if it's something where I'm going to show the physical container. You know, if it's something like a lamp skirt, you know, who cares? Yeah.
Somebody's asking me for the GC code for that cache for the F-16. Jess, you have any idea what that was called?
See if I can find it.
All right, Jess is going to look for you, Sydney.
Was it an F-14 or an F-16?
Was it an F-14? That was an F-14, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
don't know. It was in an
It was on that trip. She'll find it pretty. It was freaking brilliant. I wish, and I didn't save it. I didn't save that, right? Did I? I don't think I saved that periscope. It was freaking brilliant.
I didn't know how to do it at that time.
Yeah, it was relatively new, but it was so good. Oh, yeah, it's definitely worth doing. It was pretty incredible. And what was that I wanted to read? Oh, I read it already. All right, so go ahead. Sorry.
Well, let's go to a question from Kuhn and Bud. What?
Is that their caching name, or is
Kuhn
that that's brilliant, dude? I love it.
What is the best place?
That just made my top 20 caching names of all time, dude. Seriously. That was genius.
What is the best place to buy a selfie stick that will last for geocaching periscopes? Or is this really not an issue for Periscope? I cache in some rugged areas with lots of underbrush. Most of the geocaching periscopes I have viewed were in very open areas. My reaction is, really? The selfie sticks don't help me at all when I'm caching and trying to do a periscope, except if it does the tripod thing and I can actually set it down and use it. And I did that for my watch videos that I was talking about, because I needed that extra hand essentially. So I just set it down and, you know, started using it. So the one that I ended up getting was just off of Amazon, and, you know, quite frankly, that's where I get a lot of stuff these days, just because they have a better selection than anyone else to get any of these cool toys. And, you know, you get some
I
good deals.
I have a selfie stick in the car. I never use it.
No.
But what, babe?
I got it.
You got it. Oh, we've got that GC number. Hold on. Thanks, Jess. And look at, sorry guys, my 10-year-old's texting me. He's saying, "Can I watch Family Guy on Netflix?" And I'm telling him no. He's like, "Why?" Like, really? Because I say so. I'm your dad. You know, can I watch Family
It's
Guy?
a family show, Dad.
Dad, it's a family
It
show.
has family right in it.
He says, "Can I watch Family Guy or American Dad?" I said, "No, not Family Guy." He says, "Why aren't they the same thing?" No, they're not the same thing. Can you watch American Dad? I don't think that's as bad as Family Guy,
I
right?
don't know. I've never watched it. Actually.
Really?
I watched Family Guy. Never watched American
Dad. No, not the same. Okay, sorry. You totally
Another
my kid totally threw me off topic. I'm so
All right.
sorry, guys.
So what was that GC number?
Oh, give me the GC number. Yeah,
2P
2P is in Paul.
W
W is in Daryl. W4.
84.
84.
So we got the 4 in there too.
Right there you go. There you go. I hope you're still watching, Sydney.
Called Martin Baker.
It's called Martin Baker, as in Martin Dash or Martin Space.
Martin Dash Baker.
Martin Dash Baker. It's freaking brilliant, guys.
All right. So the one that I ended up getting for the selfie stick was the Fonisco
You actually
extendable.
have the name of your selfie stick?
Yes, I
Is that,
had
the
to
one,
look
is
it
that
up.
the one you just showed me?
That's the one I just
Oh,
showed you.
that's actually pretty cool. That's a
It
nice
is.
one.
Well, and the whole thing about that one is it has that tripod on the base. So
Right.
you can extend. It's a nice stand-up monopod, essentially, at that point.
Right.
So it's the only reason I use it. And it did come with a Bluetooth remote that I
Does it
threw
really?
away.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
because you
brilliant.
can't use the Bluetooth remotes.
Why not?
Because Periscope doesn't actually use that. And
Really?
another important thing to note is like Periscope will not use a Bluetooth headset or microphone or anything like that. It only uses the internal microphone, or if you plug into the headset directly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's something to keep in mind too, because I tried using a Bluetooth headset thinking, hey, I can get a lot better sound, especially in those noisy situations.
Sure.
Doesn't work.
Really?
It ignores it.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
that sucks. Please, Periscope, get on that.
Right. So yeah, I'm like, again, I have I remember now. I have a selfie stick in my car. I've never used it. I think I paid like $10 for it on Amazon. Amazon Prime, God bless.
Yeah.
And it's for me, it's I don't need it.
Well,
it's especially if
Most
I'm
of the time, it just gets in the way.
yeah. I mean, I usually 9 times out of 10 I'm recording Jesse and not even recording myself. So
Well,
it's
and we were
So
just
you
talking
need a
about how
Jesse stick.
we
I
need
need a
just,
Jesse stick. Yes.
we were just talking about how tough it is to actually see those comments as they scroll by. If you put it on that selfie stick and hold it that much
Oh,
further
forget
out,
about it. You're not
you're
reading
not going to
anything.
be able to read
Yeah,
much
you're
of
not
that
reading
period.
anything. Yeah. Yeah.
But what I do want is one of those selfie drones.
Yeah. Right. Those are nice.
That would make it so much better because then I
Yeah.
can walk around with both hands
Can you imagine
free.
Periscope and the drones? How nice would that be? Yeah.
See, but for that they have to have that hook to do the wireless streaming
Yeah.
from the drone camera into
Yeah.
Periscope.
The future isn't coming fast enough, and that's
No.
annoying me.
No. All right. So, Chris, I think we're probably running a little long for this show. Was there anything else that we wanted to touch on before we left?
One quick thing. Do you guys think more periscopes or better quality periscopes? So quantity versus quality. You think it's better to do more often or to do it longer for better quality?
I don't. I'm for some reason becoming very I'm using the wrong word. Like people
Antiquated?
think of me and they think of periscoping, and I don't know. Do I periscope that much?
You do a lot of
Do I do a
periscoping.
lot?
Yeah.
I don't think I do a lot at
Well,
all.
I think
But like people always say, "Oh yeah, Berks," when they think of periscoping, geocaching, periscoping, they think of Berks.
you're doing a lot
understand
of
why.
periscoping for non-geocaching stuff now too.
I don't even think I do that much.
No, but
I'll go
I get
weeks
more.
without turning it on.
I get more. Yeah,
Really, seriously.
but lately, especially, I've been getting more and more of the notifications for when you're going live. Starting with the one from what was it, Walmart that you did at Black Friday?
Black Friday.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, let me say, Black Friday, I had 500 watchers on Black Friday.
Yeah. That was-
500
and
watchers.
Don't expect if you're starting this off to have a whole bunch of people watching right away.
Yeah,
It is going to take
no.
some time to build up that audience.
Absolutely,
And
it does.
this is one of the reasons why I think quality or the quantity over quality helps is the more often that you're on there, and you don't want to do like 10 back to back.
Mhm.
Do
Except for tomorrow.
well, yeah, do a few here and there. The more often you're on, the more people are going to be exposed to it. The more often they can jump in, and I don't think you should want to do the really short ones. Because sometimes it takes people a good 30, 40 seconds
To
to
get
jump
on.
in.
Sure.
Yeah, and I've done some of those really short ones where I'm off before people are in because, well, I
Right.
need to get in or whatever. I had one of those today. I went at a rest area kind of cache, went to grab it, and I didn't see it where it should have been. So I had to go and pull up the phone. Well, as soon as I went to pull up the phone and put down the phone, it's like, oh, it's right there.
Right.
But I needed the phone to look up some information,
Sure.
and had to hang up the chat or the Periscope before I should have.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it's I don't look over. I try and most of my audience, what I've noticed, are geocachers, just because usually 9 times out of 10, or even 99 times out of 100, mostly my periscopes are about geocaching, and not occasionally I do my children, I'll do the Star Wars premiere or something like that, but usually it's geocaching is what I try to make it. So
Periscope the entire movie.
that would have been, I didn't even think of that. That would have been brilliant. But or apparently the first 20 minutes is what Daryl says. I can't do the whole.
Well, no, you can Periscope the whole thing.
Oh,
You
I
just won't
can't.
record
Oh,
it
I
to
just
your
record-
camera.
Well, then what's the point?
Well,
not that I have it on my laptop already.
I don't know. Catch might archive it for you.
I make no admittance to me already having the movie on my laptop. So most of my audience is geocachers, so it's kind of nice, like you're saying. Like, I rarely do I have somebody coming in saying, "What's geocaching?" Usually, because if it's something obscure in my title, I will hashtag it geocaching, just so people know it's what I'm talking about. If I'm actually geocaching, so unless I say geocaching with Daryl or something like that, But if I say like Daryl's getting stealthy, like I did today, I did hashtag geocaching. So people knew I was talking about geocaching being stealthy. So, and usually, again, most of my viewers are geocachers, so they know what I'm doing. Rarely do I get the troll. It's rare for me. I don't get them very often.
Yeah, I don't think you do a whole lot, Chris, but what are your thoughts on it?
I tend to go for quality over quantity. I would tend to do one, I'm not going to do every LPC you come across just because, oh, here's another one. Let's just find the good caches.
Mhm.
And script it out a little bit. Think about it ahead of time. Oh, I want to talk about this. I want to show them this. So,
Well, one of the things that we always talked about in production was always tell a story. So you don't necessarily know what that story is before you get there, but think about that story as you go through, and you're going to get a much better, easier to follow video if you're actually trying to think about what the story is that your viewers are seeing and hearing.
Mhm.
So that's
Right.
that's something that you really want to think about whenever you're doing these broadcasts like that. Now, if you're doing it as a live stream one-on-one with Skype or FaceTime or whatever,
Mhm.
yeah, that's totally different.
Yeah.
That's a one-on-one conversation.
Right. Yeah, usually, like, I think the last Periscope Jesse and I did was I think that's yours, Jess. The last one Jesse and I did was the flagpole, right, Jess? Is that the last one we did? Yeah, when it was a bison up the flagpole and you had to actually like ring it down. You had to like you were bringing down a flag, and it was the ending of, I think, a multi. And the only reason I did it is because I'm like, hey, that's really cool. I think people would appreciate seeing that, like a bison at the top of a flagpole that you had to literally undo the rope and actually bring it down like you would a flag. And so I try and do caches like that, not just a lamp skirt, unless it's an obscure one. But I try and do fun caches like that people will look at and go like, that's really cool. I think I want to. There's nothing like that here. I want to put the one like that in Florida.
Yeah, well, and that's one of those. You go back for the inspiration.
Mhm,
You're trying
exactly.
to get more people to
flagpole and see what happens.
Yeah.
And see who
Yeah.
salutes.
Mhm,
Wait.
absolutely.
All right, so that's going to wrap up this episode. So get ready to send in your answers to the last of our weekly questions. That email needs to have the title of Question 209, and we need to receive that at GeoGearHeads@CacheManiacs.com by December 30th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. In the body of the email, include your geocaching.com screen name and tell us the top feature you'd like to see added to geocaching.com. That's it for the last of the weekly questions, so that's all we're going to do
Forever.
for
Forever.
at least for the next year.
Forever.
And
Name the movie, Dale.
oh,
Forever.
I am drawing a total blank.
Come on,
I know the movie.
Chris. Name the movie.
Oh man, why
I
can't I
hate you.
think of the movie?
I hate you
There with
both.
Arrow. I go, I know, forever.
No, forever.
I know it. I can't think of it.
I want to say Bill Murray.
Nope.
No.
Think of a child. Forever. Jesse, do you know,
Oh.
Jess?
Oh,
I'm not even telling
We're
you
all
guys. I'm
sucking.
not even telling you.
even the live Q&A isn't coming up with this one. All right. So,
It's the Sandlot, for all you don't know.
oh,
Sandlot.
I haven't seen that in probably a decade or more.
Forever, yeah, forever.
All right. So next week we're going to announce the first of the questions for 2016, and it's going to be asking for feedback. And you'll have a few weeks to get that into us.
Are you doing that poll again?
Nope, no polls.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
I like the poll last year.
What about flagpoles?
I like flag polls.
We do need to do another one of those
I know.
surveys.
I miss your poll. It was a good poll.
Well, actually, that was 2 years ago. We were going to do one last year, and we ended up not
I liked
doing
it. You got a good poll, Daryl.
Yeah. Well, that really helped us put together those shows. Yeah, I ignored that. But for this question, you still have less than a week.
Oh, hey, who did that? Thank you, Chris.
So get that answer into us at GeoGearHeads at CashManiacs.com.
That's like the ghost of Christmas past coming to ring a bell. That's what that is.
Oh, speaking of which, Chris, I did start listening to that podcast, but I have to listen to that when I can actually pay better attention. Before we finish this up, give us a quick plug for that show.
Okay, so this week on Caching in the Northwest, your hosts got together and we did a geocaching Christmas carol. Did it with full sound and Foley, the sound effects, the whole bit. And, it really came out good. So if you have a chance, go grab episode, what is it, 126?
I have no idea.
Caching in the Northwest. Geocaching Christmas carol.
Just in time for Christmas.
Yay.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about Christmas Eve. Here it is on Christmas Eve released. It's in the feed. And in fact, we'll play it tonight on the podcast.
Are you having a show tonight?
Well, I'm just playing audio.
That's all you're doing is playing audio?
Of our geocaching Christmas carol.
You're not going to act it out then, huh?
I know.
No.
You can't like mime it like
La 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 la.
I was hoping for that like Patrick Stewart one-man show.
Oh.
make it so, Chris. Make it so.
No.
All right.
I don't make it like that.
So get your answers to
Thank
question
you again
209.
for that. Walt? I am the ghost of Walt Grogan.
All right. So question 209, have those into us at GeoGearHeads at CashManiacs.com by 9 p.m. Eastern on December 30th. And that is going to be for a prize at coinsandpins.com.
That's right. So we got through that.
That's not a booby prize, is it?
Nope. We're out of boobies. No more travel boobies.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
And
A damn
Those
shame.
Those go
traveling
quickly.
today. He could
Enough
use one.
boobies do go. Yeah, everyone wants boobies.
Yeah. Everyone, they're nice trackable boobies too.
Hell. Thank you. I'm kidding.
Sorry, I keep moving off of that because
I
I've
wanna
got other
know
things
what's
to do
behind
here.
me when
But
that
you keep
happens.
pulling me back in.
You can ring it again for that.
Sorry.
Thank you. See, I know you're not that quick on the trigger like I am.
It's not something I'm focused on at the moment. Okay. So remember to join us for a live show and a live prize during this next week's randomized show. And, those things aren't going to change for 2016. We'll still have the live prizes during the randomized shows. So next week, randomize XLI because, it's XL plus 1. It's bigger. It goes to 11.
Hey,
And that's going to be
you guys with the
patrons.
numbers. With the numbers, right?
Yeah. The
Mhm.
Roman numerals.
You love your Roman numerals.
We got to
man.
train people for doing those puzzle caches.
For when we go to metric system, that's what we got to train people for.
They're metric Roman numerals?
So eventually, yeah.
I thought I was using the imperial Roman numerals.
Eventually we're all going to the metric system.
Chris, I messed
Isn't
up
that part of
again.
it?
Week after that, January 7th, we're doing smartphone caching number 4 with, wait a minute, who's going to be on that show?
I don't know. Who? Am I on the show
it's
again?
you.
Hey, I am. Jesse
and
Brown will be
Jesse.
on the show.
Say hi, Shorty Knits.
Okay, hi.
There she goes.
She actually heard you. We both got Kanza.
January 14th, we're talking about travelers with the Bear. January 21st, logging with DeBear and Gary of Cache and Release.
Mm-hmm.
Check the Cashmaniacs website at cashmaniacs.com for more of the GeoGearHeads, including show notes for this and all of our episodes. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us feedback by calling 206-350-3647, by emailing geogearheads at cashmaniacs.com, or through social media. Your support helps keep the Cashmaniacs shows coming. Please consider becoming a patron through the link on our website to support the Cashmaniacs shows. GeoGearHeads is produced by Krent Suffenauer and Daryl Wanberg. This show is copyright 2015 by Daryl Wanberg, all rights reserved.
One more time.
And one more time. We're actually clear of the recording.
Okay, good.